Hello, and thanks for joining us today. We're at Hollywood Studios, and we're going to check out 4 of their spooky Halloween treats.
Yes, we know it's only mid-September, but Hollywood Studios has released theirs early. And that's nice because a lot of the parks have not yet. So here we are to try Hollywood Studios first. So our first treat from Sunset Ranch Market comes from Rosie's All-American Hot Dog Cafe, I think. I know it's Rosie's All-American. Frozen apple cider. They say green apple popping balls, but those don't look green, so we'll see. It is $4.99. It's just a classic apple cider. American cider does not mean hard, no alcohol. It's basically like a unpasteurized apple juice. It's not clear, it's cloudy. It tends to have a better flavor too, much more apple. So, basic, simple, no spice. Now let's see. They might be passion fruit, but there's not a lot of flavor. They're almost picking up the cider flavor. Very good, very refreshing on a hot Florida day.
Apple cider, I love apple cider. I was raised with apple cider. Now, American apple cider, like Elizabeth says, is non-alcoholic. The alcoholic we call hard cider. And we can get that too, but that's not what this is. And this one's frozen, which is going to be really nice because it is warm out here today.
Yeah, well, if we don't hurry, it won't be frozen for long.
Oh, that's really good. And she's right, it's melting already. The boba balls, even though they were supposed to be green apple, well, number one, they're orange. And number two, they're not green apple. But one nice thing, they give you this big straw. See how
well, it's a boba. It's a boba straw.
Yes, and you can suck up the boba balls through the straw. That's kind of fun. This is really nice. It's very refreshing. I like it. It's not over the top. It's not overly sweet. This is really nice. I'd get it again.
The second treat is a pumpkin spice shortbread cookie covered in white chocolate and some sort of strange little gold disc. They're not really sprinkles. From Fairfax Fair. They do not sell all of the different Halloween treats at a single place here in Sunset Ranch Market. You have to make separate mobile orders, but they're only a few steps away. So no big deal once you know how it goes. Of course, then you have to find them all too because all 4 of them look very much alike. Pumpkin spice cookie was only $3.99, and look how big this thing is. It's huge. That's pretty good for $3.99. Now let's see how it tastes. I do like a pumpkin spice. And of course, we've been sitting here for more than 30 seconds, so the white chocolate is really melting and sticky. Simple but delicious. The spice doesn't really come through at first because you get more of the sweetness from the white chocolate. Very, very nice. I could probably eat these every day from now until, well, next year, because I don't really care if I segregate my pumpkin spice during the summer. So, really good cookie. Very nicely done. I hope they have something like it for Christmas, maybe more gingerbready, but really, really nice.
On to the cookie. It is a very pretty cookie. I really like all the little gold sprinkles or whatever those little gold discs are. It's very pretty. Elizabeth started on the side, but traditionally on a Mickey treat, you go for the ears first. There's pumpkin spice in there. It has the texture of shortbread. The orange frosting is melting on my fingers. Well, this is really nice. I've never had pumpkin spice shortbread before, and I love shortbread. This is really good. At only $3.99, this is a steal. It's a huge cookie. It's very tasty. I like this one a lot. Well, as usual, for this time of year and this time of day, it's started to rain. So we've ducked into the Backlot Express for our next treat.
We've come to the Backlot Express for the Spooky Ghost Cupcake. It's also available at Trolley Car Cafe, but there's no seating and it's always mobbed because that's Starbucks. We like the Backlot Express. Fudge-filled chocolate cupcake, topped with cookies and cream buttercream, spooky sprinkles, and vanilla meringue ghost. $5.49. And we can sit in here in the inside, out of the rain, and enjoy our cupcake. Isn't he a cute little spooky ghost? I think I better take the meringue off. There we go. That's not going to want to divide properly.
You've decapitated the cupcake.
No, I simply took the ghost off. He was floating up there. All right. Oh, that may be a problem. It feels very light for something that is supposed to be fudge filled. That buttercream almost looks like it has a little marshmallow. There's a little bit of fudge in there. So I forgot a second plate. I think part of it was frustration. We've been making mobile orders, no problem. Got here to Backlot Express, tried to pull up, got through everything except the pay, and it simply would not go through. Tried multiple ways, with Wi-Fi, without Wi-Fi, nothing. Well, of course, they're pushing mobile orders, so there's one register open for people who don't want to do mobile order, or can't, in my case. Long line. And then they pointed me to one counter where there wasn't anybody actually serving at the time. So she served like 3 other people before she came over to my area. Just the way it goes sometimes. So, a quick walk by Art, and we have another plate. And this is very goopy buttercream. Could be a good sign. It's whipped. It's very, very light. I really like it. It's got a little bit of a greasy feel like sometimes buttercream does. So that's not my favorite, but probably mixed with the cupcake it'll be better. Cupcake. Very light also. Nice devil's food or fudgy flavor. Very nice and chocolatey. Chocolate fudge. Actually tastes like hot fudge. Now, obviously, not enough fudge. I believe this might be the worst year so far for fillings in Disney cupcakes. They've been mostly pretty tasty. Also, very, very slim on the filling. Very light. It's really good. But the buttercream overpowers the fudge. Even though it's light, there's just so much of it. So I'm going to eat my cupcake with less of the buttercream and more of this cake and the fudge. The only way I can see to take care of this little meringue ghost is to simply bite it. They're not going to divide by a knife or a fork. Meringues just don't do that. Very good meringue. Beautifully crisp on the outside, fluffy on the inside. Not a lot of vanilla. It's mostly just a sweet meringue, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. I do like meringue. I like them with a little bit more flavor. Seems like I remember one maybe at Layal, but the best meringue I ever had I think was Kansas City at Andre's Confiserie Suisse. If you're in Kansas City, look it up. Trust me.
Let's see what I think of this cupcake. Now the frosting looks a little bit like the gray stuff, so we'll see. Well, it's definitely cookies and cream, almost like they've got crumbled up Oreos in there. The cream part, you can't really taste, but I can certainly taste the cookies in there. I'm going to try some of this chocolate cake. It may be chocolate cake, it may be devil's food. Does anybody really know the difference? I'm not sure I do, but it's definitely chocolate. Not bad. Good texture, nice chocolate flavor. Not a bad cake at all. Let's try some of this fudge topping. I think on the amounts of filling that they've been putting in Disney cupcakes, Elizabeth was being just a little bit generous. I would go so far as to call it a little stingy, especially for what they charge for cupcakes. But the fillings have been off and on. Some have been really good, some of them have been totally forgettable. See how this one is. Well, that's definitely not forgettable. That tastes just like hot fudge, only it's not hot. So that's really good. We'll try a little bit of everything together. Okay, I've got cake. I'm going to call the frosting gray stuff, whether it is or not. Elizabeth is telling me it's not. So I've got hot fudge, frosting, and cake. When you take them all together, the frosting overpowers everything. And it's not really the best frosting in the whole world. Elizabeth's right, there's a little greasiness to the back end of it, and it doesn't have a whole lot of flavor except for the crumbled up cookie in the frosting. So I think for the rest of it, I'm going to scrape off the frosting, and just some of that cake and hot fudge. That is so good. My turn for what's left of our poor little ghost friend here.
Hey, I was generous.
Oh yeah, but he's only half the ghost he used to be. Ranks pretty good. So, on a scale from 1 to 10, if it wasn't for the frosting, I'd give this an 8. But I've got to grade it down because taste-wise, the frosting really detracts from the cupcake. So I'll give it a 7, maybe a 6. If it wasn't for the frosting, it'd be an 8. So, would I get this cupcake again? There are a lot of good things here to eat at Disney, so probably not. But it is a very pretty cupcake.
Here at the ABC commissary for our final treat of the day, they have 2 here, but we're gonna split them up. Today is the chocolate mousse. Yes, that's all they're calling it. No fun name. It's a raspberry dark chocolate mousse, chocolate almond cake, and a layer of hazelnut crunch with whipped chocolate hazelnut cheesecake. It sounds like a lot of different flavors, but they sound like they should go along pretty well. I hope so. It's $5.49, and I'm afraid with the black gel on top, it's going to be a mess. But we're gonna have fun cutting into this anyway. Okay, black gel. At least there's no wrapping on this to deal with. Uh-oh. Hazelnut crunch, maybe? The plate has a curve to it, so I can't use my cutter.
There you go.
All right.
Although it looks like we had a little avalanche.
Yeah, well, when you put a rock hard piece in the middle, I'm gonna guess that's the cheesecake. That's the cake down there. So where's that would be the hazelnut crunch. Right there. How to attack this? I guess we'll try a little of the mousse. Really good raspberry chocolate there. There's so many pieces to this. Hazelnut crunch. I think that's just part of the chocolate, maybe? That may just be a layer of chocolate, I'm not sure, but down here is the chocolate hazelnut. Definitely chocolate hazelnut cake. So, now how do we get a bite of everything? A little piece of this cookie. All right, now, this may not be graceful, we'll see. That is pretty good. Raspberry comes out full forward. Raspberry, 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 chocolate, chocolate hazelnut. That's how I'm getting it anyway. It's really quite delicious. I'm enjoying it a lot. I know some people might feel like there were too many flavors, but the way it comes in steps, kind of, you get each layer individually. I really like this.
This is a really interesting looking treat. I love the look of the black Jaleel on top. You're used to seeing chocolate, but this is black.
And slick and shiny.
And slick and shiny. So it's really cool looking. The Halloween colored sprinkles on top really add to it. It's a complicated dessert. We're going to find out what I think of it. I am not a big fan of chocolate hazelnut, but I am a big fan of raspberry, so we'll see. The top layer is chocolate raspberry mousse, and it is absolutely delightful. There's something crunchy in between the next 2 layers. That must be the hazelnut.
Since it's called hazelnut crunch, I think that's a good guess.
Yeah, I think so too. And actually, because it's a very thin layer, it doesn't overpower everything, and the crunch is really nice. I like that. On the bottom, there's a layer of chocolate hazelnut cake. We'll see what I think of that. Like I said, I'm not a really big hazelnut fan. Not bad. It's all sitting on this cookie. Let's see what the cookie tastes like. The cookie by itself isn't all that wonderful, but it's not bad at all. I'm going to try a little bit of everything. The mousse is easy to cut through. The cookie is easy to break off. But the chocolate hazelnut cake keeps getting away from me. It's very dense. Okay, that's quite a bite. rich, tasty, delightful. This is one dynamite snack. On a scale from 1 to 10, I'd give it a 9, only because it's a little hard to eat, but the flavor rocks. Would I give this again? Yeah, I would, except for the fact that there are so many good Halloween treats here at the studios right now, and I want to try them all.
But we'll try them to find out if they're good. They sound good.
They do sound good. So, this is a fabulous dessert. One nice thing about eating at the ABC commissary is that when you're done, you can just get up and leave. You don't have to take your stuff to the trash. A cast member will get it for you. Cast members rock.
A pretty successful day here at Hollywood Studios.
Indeed it was.
We weren't here very long, but we did get the treats we wanted, plus one. We've had a few drizzles here and there we've had to dodge, but it's that time of year in Florida, isn't it?
It rains almost every evening.
Somewhere between 3 and 5 is very common.
Our treats today were just really pretty good. I think the best was our last one.
I think so too. The chocolate mousse was amazing. Really, the other one though, that pumpkin spice cookie was fantastic.
It was a real surprise too. It's huge, it's inexpensive, and it is tasty.
Being able to combine a shortbread cookie with that not too strong pumpkin spice, wow. Yeah, we need to try and make something like that at home.
The ghost cupcake was okay. The apple cider, although I enjoyed it and I was raised on apple cider, tasted like it was a little bit watered down.
It was a little bit, and back to that cupcake, if they hadn't used the kind of greasy buttercream, I think it would have been really good.
Yeah, that was the real problem with it. The cake itself was really good. It was moist and delicious. The fudge tasted pretty good, but the frosting killed it.
It really did, unfortunately. Luckily, being a very light whipped frosting, it did scrape off easily.
Yes, it did.
So we managed just fine. Hot fudge filling inside of chocolate cupcake, sure, no problem. But really, the pumpkin spice cookie for something simple and delicious, and then this amazingly not simple at all. This was a really interesting bunch of layers.
Layers that shouldn't probably go together, but really work.
It really did work. This was fantastic. And a funny thing, a lot of times that black gel gets everywhere. This one did not. It was a very thin coating, and it really didn't stick to anything. So bravo, Disney, you figured out how to use that black stuff.
Yes, they did. So it is still raining, and it is time to go home.
If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. We could always use more subscribers. Invite your friends, invite your friends' friends. Honestly, our tiny little milestones, the next one's coming up. We just need 4 of you.
We have more coming up, so hit that notification button, hit the like button. That always helps us out.
Helps a lot. And please comment. Comments are also very helpful, and I love them too. I love to answer. I'm going to respond as quickly as I can.
Are you on social media?
So are we. Our Life Go on Instagram. I am still having a few problems with the camera, but I'm still trying to post. I'm hoping to get maybe a new phone can fix this. I don't know. I've tried other things, but I am learning how to use Reels, and it is taking in the occasional photo. So we'll just keep on trucking. Also posting more over on our Facebook page, Our Life on the Go. Short reviews, more photos. I think I'm going to end up dumping all of MegaCon on there here in the next week.
So, with that said, I'm Art.
I'm Elizabeth.
And this is Our Life on the Go.